what's up? Welcome to Unlock Your Soul with yours truly, Anthony Your Soul. We're at the ever lovely Nairobi Street Kitchen. And of course, today I have somebody who will help us understand and demystify what data or data, what it means when you're holding your phone, when you have a company and you guys have systems and programs and, you know, people are hacking and trying to blackmail you, which doctors are trying to blackmail you. This is the guy to talk to. But also, there's a story behind him. I mean, he's done great stuff. He's a CEO and founder of East Africa Data Handlers. But before he became that, I'm sure he's gone through what we have all gone through. He's a man from Kabete, Mr. George Njoroge. Welcome to this.
I like your stupid introduction. How are you?
Man from Kabete. Now your friends are calling you, hey, Wakavete. That will be your new name.
My local village is called Kingero, which means the place of slaughter.
Yeah, I was about to say that means to...
Yes, to ngea people.
Whoa, have you ever been Nyongwad?
Very much. It's
Serious?
The only qualification for you to live there and feel like you belong.
You have to be Nyongwad.
The
Is there a slaughterhouse or is just...
No, I think the thuggery was too much.
Wow.
In the olden days, and I think that's why I took up the name Kingero.
So you're from Kabete Shire, Kingero in Kabete Shire.
Yes.
Tell us about your upbringing before we come to you being the brain behind Azimio's literally IT brain. Before we get there, tell us about where does George Njoroge come from?
Me, I'm a village boy, so I've grown and been raised in Kingero. And I've schooled there, coincidentally. And I've had all my life, largely other than when I travel abroad to do my studies, I've grown up in Nairobi. The normal 8 to 5 work and studies, and struggling in the shags. Yes.
Struggling in shags.
And swimming in the local rivers, yes.
I don't know, just maybe because now you look and smell like money. But you don't look like you ever struggled.
You have no idea. You know, I look at my kids when they come from school, and I tell them the life that they have and what they have seen is essentially what we've not seen. And some of us really struggled in the most basic of things.
Yeah.
I mean, if you went to school with a shoe, guys will not play with you because you look like you're going to hurt them.
Yeah.
And you look like you're trying to look like you're too rich.
Yeah.
So you had to leave shoes and go to school without shoes.
Wow.
So we've seen it all. But one of the things that I found a lot of is the greatest lesson I found is that there's a lot of value in having a relationship with people. And there's a lot of value in knowing that people are the power behind success. So once you have that as part of your way of life, I mean, you will not struggle to do things, and you will not struggle to achieve things because you don't need to show people you have money to have it. You don't need to show that you have this or that. You just need to be appreciative of what you can get from this life. In the most basic of things. Then everything else comes.
And you look back and you say, you probably think you'd never have made it today if you didn't have that sort of background.
Yes, because, you know, one of the biggest problem is yesterday's success. It has a way of robbing tomorrow's success.
Hello?
Because what most guys do is that you go somewhere, you somehow cut a good deal, and you believe that's the life you're going to live. So you start drinking more, you start going to these posh restaurants.
Yeah, you can't even afford, but you're
there.
Yeah.
But because you had a deal that somewhat has given you an edge, instead of asking yourself, what more do I keep doing that will advantage me into the future? The biggest struggle most young people will have is being a one-season guy. That is a killer of most of us, because you'll have that season, it will work for you, the next season you're gone. And you're completely gone.
I think, does this also play into your character and how, I mean, like even getting this interview with you was very easy. And to be honest, I feel like you're not supposed to be that easily accessible.
You know, I learned something.
Yeah.
Over the years, I realized that, so one of the things we have about 400 employees.
Wow.
There's no...
Hey, hold up. You said how many employees? 400.
Yes.
That's that's like 3 estates.
Now, one of the things I have maintained and done, there's no idea of being boss. Be easy. I mean, there is no future where you're too much out of this place. And you look like you're too out there.
Yes.
Because you miss the most basics of life. And some of the most brilliant ideas have been executed by the most lowest persons in a corporate organization. Because they'll have a basic idea. Let me give you an example. There has been a fight between Vodacom in South Africa and some young boy who introduced, who designed the service called Please Call Me.
Yes.
And it's a basic, he's a junior staff. But the most brilliant and most revolutionary product within Africa has been that product.
Yes.
Yet, it's designed by the most basic of persons.
Yeah.
So if the corporate ladder will not have the ability to listen and become accessible, then it becomes very easy, very difficult to get such ideas. Then to iterate products. Because remember, products are all about change.
Yes.
You design a product, you take it to market, and then the market says no. But the persons who give you feedback are not the initial customers, but are also the corporate persons that work with you, that will give you ideas and thoughts and tell you, oh, do this, do that. And it helps you do things.
Yeah. But there's a lot of clearly leadership that you have. By the time you're leaving Kabete to get to a point where you're this data man, how did that happen? Where was that spark? How did that happen?
So when I finished my high school,
where did you go to high school?
I went to a school called Kirangare in Kabete.
Kirangare. Then you went to places where you have to really have a PhD in pronouncing this. Kirangare.
My previous school was called Dogoro.
Aye, Dogoro.
Yes.
I usually say, what is that? Dogoro.
Yes.
But you know also when you come from, the Doro.
Yes, you have
to succeed. Your parents will say, did you see where you came from?
You can't go back.
Please,
to
you
that
can't
shit.
go back.
You can't go back. You can't go back. I tell people, my mother's land was about 100 by 100.
Yes.
And she had 7 kids. I'm number 7.
Oh, your last born?
Yes. So
you were a hardworking last born.
So imagine you're number 7 and you go back and you build on that shack of 100 by 100. Where are you going to live? Where will you stay?
You can't even when when your parents, even if they're on their deathbed, you can't be there trying to fight people at Uko ni kwangu. Bro, what are you fighting for?
That doesn't offer you anything. So essentially, when I left high school, I really wanted to do pharmacy. It was the in thing. But incidentally, my mother just said, you go and learn computers. So there was a college that was teaching computers. That was, I think, started teaching ICDL. So I went to start learning how to do basics. As I was doing basics, when the results came out, and I thought, why don't I try and now move from the thought of medicine into IT.
Yes.
So I joined Jomo Kenyatta University. Along the way, I got a scholarship from Microsoft. To a fully my entire university was fully sponsored by Microsoft.
Wow.
Once I got now the scholarship from Microsoft, it allowed me also access to Microsoft East Africa as part of the training program of Microsoft. So I joined the Microsoft beta team. So meaning we would get, before products are launched, we would get to test them, we would deploy them locally, and guys, before they could be able to even formally announce the products, at least you've taken it to different corporations, they've tested it, they're happy with it. Then after that, now being able now to initially give feedback, allow for there to be service packs like updates on the systems, and then they officially now release the products. From that, now that's when, before I even could finish my 4th year, I lost my 4th year project. Then I started researching and trying to learn, how do you fix my hard drive has crashed.
Also, what you mean by lost is you're on a laptop, you've worked on everything.
There was no laptop. What do you mean a laptop?
Jesus. Where were you using?
These PCs.
Hey, you're not PC.
You're not PC.
Where?
You had 2 options by then.
Yeah.
You had either to buy an IBM.
Yes.
Or you buy something called a clone. The clones were HP and any other machine.
And Dell
all the other animals other than IBM. So you either had an IBM or a clone.
So IBM was like the iPhone.
Yes, the iPhone already.
Then everything else is Android.
Then everything else is Android. It's all Mashakura.
Yeah, Mashakura.
Then, so we essentially ended up now. So I had a clone at home that crashed. When it crashed, it meant that now I was trying to research, how do you cure this problem? So how do I get my project back? It is the final 4th-year project that I couldn't get.
You can't start over.
You
and
can't
if
start
you do,
all over
there's no
again.
time.
There's no time because you're maybe about 3 months away from graduation. You've
Yeah.
been building on this project for the 4 years.
Yeah.
So essentially, when you lose it, it means you've lost an entire maybe 3 or so years of work that you need to work back on. Then I realized there's nobody offering that service in the market.
Wow.
So I started I couldn't fix mine, essentially. But at least I managed to realize there was an opportunity in this.
Yes.
I quit university and started a business.
So you also have a Bill Gates sort of story that I've actually not heard out here, by the way. Because when I read about you, this side of quitting school, I didn't hear this part. Because I also know about you, which we'll talk about later. You deciding to join law school.
Yes.
And we'll explain the reason later. So you're like, you know what? I am here in school to find solutions for people's problems.
Yes.
But I have found it. Why should I continue?
And essentially meant that I couldn't sit back because, I mean, when we advertised, the most interesting thing, we put up a classified ad on a newspaper, on a national newspaper. Those ones that you could pay a bob
Yes,
per ad.
powered, yeah.
I think it was about a bob or two.
Yeah.
When we put the first customer I got, had a whole floor at Posta Sacco building in town.
Wow.
Now I don't know what it's called now, but it's the one on University Way.
Yeah, it's still Posta.
That guy had the entire floor. The interesting part is that guy had always wanted to run for president of Somali. That is back in 2005, 2006. So he told me, now that I was trying to recover my data, you recover my data, I'll give you the office space. Me, I'll go do campaign in Somali.
You use this.
You use this space. That's how now formally I decided, you know what, I don't need school. I have an office. I have
and this thing is making sense to people. People actually struggling
yeah?
with
Oh, you have no idea. People would come out of their way to come and help us. Then the guy who had this guy who gave me an office space was like, now that I'm almost clinching the presidency, I need to close down this office, go back to Somali and focus on now real. So it means I had no office.
So he did clinch the presidency?
No, he never did.
Okay.
Somebody else did.
Okay. But also, I mean, especially in Somalia, probably was absorbed or had to continue with business
I've not seen him since.
Yeah.
So I got now to move to Westlands.
Yes.
When I moved in to Westlands, I got essentially, there's some company called iTech that used to do conferences. That used when they would hold annual conferences. So we teamed up. They gave us an incubation space to work with from there. Then also been helping them with their IT stuff and all their conferences, and also I stuck there. Then in 2016, when I formally now incorporated East Africa Data Handlers, I got an office, the same place I am 17 years later.
Wow.
That we've been since. So we moved from doing data recovery, moved and brought in technology. So I left the country, I went to Russia, and I studied in the top school that rebuilds hard drives and mobile phones and all in the world, that does what's called chip-off technology.
Yeah.
So this is one of the rarest technologies that allows you to rebuild data from a chip level and rebuild it to allow you to be able to extract data from any technology that is from a device that is like a phone to a hard drive to anything else that can store data.
That's interesting. I mean, and as you're doing all this, and we talk about now the family and everything, does it come as a surprise to your family? Like, this man would be the number crunching man. How did this? Are they surprised? Are they shocked?
Not really.
I mean, also, because to be honest, it also comes with crazy money. Are they looking at you and saying, kijana yetu ameanza kuua watu? What is happening? Who is he selling?
No, my mother.
Yeah.
I mean, God rest her soul in peace.
Yeah.
My mother had a very amazing mind. I think who I am today is because of my mother. Not I think, I am certain.
Yes.
So one day I made money. So I went and bought a new BMW. So Maina Kageni became my good friend.
Yes.
He was going to buy a new BMW. So he's been a BMW guy.
Yes.
So he tells me he's going to buy a new BMW.
Yeah.
Then I was like, let me go with you.
So you people, you hanging out with me here, Mwirigis, if you don't behave like George here as my friends, I don't want this friendship.
Let me tell you. So we buy So he buys his,
Yes.
I buy mine.
Yeah. And this was unplanned.
No, it was planned.
Okay.
So I'd always wanted to get a car.
That's the kind of peer pressure I want.
So when I went and bought the car,
Yeah.
I told these guys, I do not want to drive this car.
Yeah.
So I drove it home. I told them, put it in carrier.
Yes.
The car carrier.
Yeah.
Bring it to Kingero so that my mother can receive it, pray for it, and
Yes.
we're off the road. So I never drove it from the BMW distributors to my mother's home.
Yeah.
So when you go to home, so I found my mother. I think she was around. So the car is brought in. The first thing she asked me, so
which means is that car spoiled?
so they bring it down
Because it's in a flatbed.
Yes, it's brand new.
Where are you bringing a spoiled car?
So it's brand new.
Yeah.
So it's brought down. My mother doesn't comment about the newness of the car.
Yes.
She didn't say shit.
Yeah.
She only asked
my
me.
son is doing well.
No. She only asked you,
Will those people drink tea?
Yes.
That is.
And nothing else.
Wow.
She never commented. Not even one word
Yeah.
about the car.
Because to her, what is important is that your friends that you've brought, that they're actually comfortable.
No, not about that.
Yeah.
Years later, when I asked her, so one day I got pissed off and I told her, oh, you saw I bought a new car.
You didn't even mention.
You didn't even
acknowledge.
She was like, what is a car?
Yeah.
In the 60s, when Peugeot was the in thing, I had 3 of them brand new.
So
what is...
Apo unapeangwa stopper.
So you are like... So what it meant is that don't feel that an achievement is something that you need to carry on as a way of life. I see people a lot flaunting their wealth online.
Yeah.
And I've learned most of my extremely wealthy friends, and I mean they're extremely rich people in this country.
Yeah.
Rarely will you see their stuff online.
Yeah.
They even have a parody account. They call themselves Kamau Ajogu.
Yeah.
And those guys will just use them to view
and laugh and just go on to understand what's happening in life and move on. Yeah.
And I've learned that this is what is confusing a lot of young people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a perception that the people that fake it, make it. It's not the case.
Yeah.
Those that are faking it are essentially struggling.
I think they need to understand this making it. Fake it till you make it on socials. In the real world, it's not like this.
It's not. And the truth is that we need to stop getting money to our head. Mm-hmm. One day I went to see James Mwangi of Equity.
Yeah.
So I was complaining as a customer. I mean, I'm your customers. You guys don't take me serious. Or I thought I was wealthy. Or you guys need to.
Yeah.
I wrote an email to him. He invited me to his office.
Yeah.
So I went with him. He says, come tomorrow morning for breakfast. And I asked him, how do you survive with all this money? And told me, my money goes to my wallet. It doesn't go to my head. So at all times, let the money sit in the wallet.
Yes.
But let it not go to your head. Because it will make you become big-headed. And you'll not realize the value that comes from having money. Money is meant to take your children to the top schools. Yes. I have taken mine to the top. If there's a top school in this country, they are there.
Yes.
But it has not made me become inaccessible.
Exactly.
It has not allowed me not to eat in a kibanda.
Yes.
Once in a while, I find myself eating madondo on the streets.
Yes.
It shouldn't. And it cannot. Because the value of money is to make my life easy. Not to make my life complicated. That when
I love that. But also it means when they are bringing the way you're raising your children, it's not based off of we are rich and you're spoiled brats. Is that, listen, what you have is a privilege from me.
My mother reminded me every day.
Yeah.
It is not our wealth. It is my wealth. So she would swear every day that she would leave her wealth to the churches to sell.
Yeah. There's a time even for my my dad. My dad actually, he was, he looks at me and he's thinking, this man now is serious, he's doing his things. And he even thought of like, he told me, there's this plot in Kawangware, maybe you can do something with it. So I told him, me. And my mom had convinced him. Mshtue tu aende ajenge kitu kwa kulange rent. Do you know my comment to him was like, me, Kawangware. Kawangware saizi plot ni 90 million 100. Nauza hiyo saizi mimi nianze ku enjoy life. My dad said, hey, weda kogaya. I said, but you're the one who offered. No, I offered you to help you.
Not
I didn't.
to-
I'm
for you
not
to
giving
help.
you. It's
No,
not
no, no.
yours.
Uh-uh.
He said, in your heads, you were thinking that you are now organized. You can have some plots there, make some money. You actually wanting to sell.
So that you
My
can.
man just gave me the look of, Yani,
You're not
after
serious.
I pitched for you, this is the nonsense you. And it makes you realize it's not yours.
No.
But when you're now building this legacy of yours, and even for your family, EADH, it's African Data Handlers. When you're building it, I mean, explain to us. The idea is there. The clients are there. The demand is there. But also, it's not easy to put up a team. It's not easy to even register just a company. What are some of the lessons you learned then about putting a team together, working with people to build this conglomerate of, just big company? What are the things you've learned that you need people to be very careful as they say, mimi niko na kampuni, mimi nataka kufanya biashara na serikali. What are the things you've learned so far?
Well, the first thing is that professionalism is something that we must embrace. A lot of people don't find value in becoming professional in the way they do things. Having an accountant who is properly an accountant, who can be able to do ledgers and books and all the things that they need.
Yeah.
Secondly is finding value in doing excellence. There is something I found, excellence has an attraction towards life. If you meet all these chicks, they're called slay queens.
Yeah.
They present themselves as perfect women.
Yes.
And why men are always following them? Because they seem perfect.
Yeah.
They look like they don't have blemish. And that is a problem, is that we lack that excellence. Even in business, a guy would pitch to you, he'll convince you, then when it comes to delivering, he'll deliver jack. And he doesn't find
And doesn't
remorse.
no remorse.
I mean, all these guys who are doing social media influencing
Yeah.
are there, they promise you heaven.
Yeah.
And a day or two, they are trashing your company, they are doing the
They're
wrong
not
thing.
delivering. You see someone, for example, let's say working with you, with the organization,
Yeah.
or a specific establishment. Then tomorrow they're working with the competing firm, and you're like,
Yes.
even your brain should just tell you it's wrong.
That is what we are saying.
Yeah.
Excellence. People, number 3, and most importantly, is people buy people.
Repeat again.
People buy people.
Come on.
Because what you realize is that the moment I see you,
Yes.
I'll judge you.
Yes.
I'll judge your work. And I'll always tell people that you are the reason why I procured this, because somebody gave me a reference. Majority of the business biasharas I've found that are easiest and didn't require any pitching were the ones that somebody said, talk to this guy. He will deliver for you the perfect product.
Yeah.
And through, it has worked.
Yeah.
So when you guys refer you to somebody, don't go and shaft the other guy.
Exactly. Yeah. True.
And you'd go and tell them, oh, you're a customer partner.
Yeah, because you're shafting a relationship.
Yes. That is what makes a difference. When we talk about, for instance, doing business with government, doing all those things, they are perfect. They are good. But even when you go to the government, the parastatals and all, you work with people.
Yes.
Every time I go to a ministry, for instance, and they want us to do something, you'll always find there's like a chick who's been sent by a minister or a PS
Yes.
and goes to procurement people and holds her ships.
Yes.
And like,
Yes.
nimetumwa na mkubwa.
Because anaona wa kwanza.
Now, in her mind, she's thinking the boss has said you give me work.
Yes.
You better fall in line.
You fall in line.
And the guy-
huku.
and
The
the
guys are
guy-
thinking, oh,
The guys will
what
look
I will
at you,
teach you.
and they'll tell you, jaza hii,
Yeah.
kuja kesho.
For 90 days.
Until the day you realize, that guy, yes, we have sent you,
Yes.
but he has created for you a connection.
Yes.
When you go to the procurement guy, you better kiss his ass.
Now tomorrow, after a while you learn, tomorrow you'll go with mandazis.
Yes.
You'll be like, I think I'm dealing with human beings here who don't give a crap about me. So tomorrow you go with mandazis. The next day you buy the guy, I had your daughter ameolewa juzi, please
Yes.
mpeleke hii
Oh,
kuka.
yes.
Then you realize,
Now when you go and you start talking biashara,
Yeah.
10 minutes. Most of the guys
Things
when
are
I
done,
meet,
yeah.
No. Most of the guys when I meet them,
Yeah.
if a meeting is 45 minutes, 5 minutes is for the meeting.
Yes,
5.
yes.
And that's at the end.
Yes.
The first 40 minutes.
Yes.
Wow, how's Famo?
Yes.
How's the kids? Oh, by the
Yes.
way, did your daughter? Oh, did your son? So those 40 minutes, because relationships. So that next year,
Yes.
when he has a function at his house, he invites you.
Yes.
When you are at his house, when you're there, remember he's a top guy, so he'll have the CEO of a particular company, he's a brand manager for a particular business. So you are there, you'll use that opportunity now to create a new network.
Exactly.
But remember, it started off you having a personalized relationship with this guy. And that is what the success, the secret of success is that simple.
Yeah.
It's relationship.
Nothing
else.
But also, apart from seeking great relationships, even when people will end up shafting you and you still, I mean, you have a value system.
Yes.
And you know, for me, who's met you for the first time, I can sense your value system and what you stand for. You also have been disappointed enough, but I've realized that when you get disappointed, you're not like us who run to X and just start complaining about people. And we'll also talk about how I find you very, you're an open book on social media. You say it like it is. If people can't handle it, well, they can log off. But you decide to enroll and learn about law because you feel like your lawyers are just not getting you. And there's a thing about you and knowledge, always seeking better for yourself.
I have, since I left campus in 2004, I don't think there has been a year I've not been in school. So that's the last 20 years I've been in school. Every single year. If I'm not doing my PhD, if I'm not doing a master's, if I'm not doing a particular course, I have at all times been in school.
Yeah.
Because I realized over the years, knowledge has a way of evolving. It's like even relationship, it evolves.
Yeah.
Today we are strangers, tomorrow we are best of friends,
Yeah.
next week we are married.
Yeah.
That's how relationships evolve.
Yes.
So knowledge evolves. And if we suddenly do not pursue the evolution of knowledge, we'll always be lagging behind. Because people are changing.
Yeah.
The market is changing. So for the longest, I have specialized in IT. So I was the first forensic scientist in Africa. That gave me a huge platform to offer my skills and my knowledge to anybody who's looking to do computer forensics.
Yes.
Anybody's trying to get into cybersecurity. Anybody's trying to get into digital forensics. Anybody's trying to get into big data. I topped that list. Now I realize over time, the problem of data and digital forensics has become one huge problem. Everything is ending up in court. When everything is ending up in court, the articulation of lawyers to understand the issues of IT and the IT guys trying to disperse that knowledge
Exactly.
is a huge gap.
Problem, yeah.
Because these two are not talking the same language.
Yeah.
So when I talk cybercrime, the lawyer talks about cybercrime in how he understands it in legal
But
language.
this is your lawyer and you're frustrated. You're like,
Yes.
Your brief ni ya nani? Mimi sikupeana hiyo brief.
I have done election petition since election was there. I've been the head of technology for every presidential campaign since Moi left. So I was the head of presidential campaign for Kibaki in IT, for Uhuru 1, Uhuru 2, and now Raila, which essentially
Raila 1.
Raila 1.
Yeah.
No, yes, Raila 1.
Raila 1.
After Jubilee.
Yeah.
But all along, one of the problems I realized is that even the lawyers that go present petitions to the Supreme Court, post 2010 Constitution, have struggled to articulate the explaining to the judges the legal jargons. And that in itself has meant that we have always been left with an egg on our face, particularly myself.
Yes.
I mean, I was heavily ridiculed when we lost the last election, heavily, because my face, my person was on the front of it. It was a technologically driven election.
Yeah.
And we could not articulate our position. We could not. And remember, we had the top of the brains, but their legal expertise, which I really celebrate these guys, their expertise is largely in the legal practice, which they've done nearly all their lives.
Yes.
But understanding technology and using that to translate the same to explain to Supreme Court judges who equally are inept in terms of understanding this is quite difficult.
Because for them it's based off of the argument from the court.
Oh yes.
So if the argument is up to this far, we can't go beyond, because it will be seen to be as this is the jurisprudence. Where are you going?
Yes.
We only explained this. So for you, you're in a courtroom and you're thinking, guy,
that is
hapo angeongezea hii.
Yes.
And you know, in any court of law, you can't be there.
You can't. At one point, by the way, those of us who don't know, at the night before we presented the Jose Camargo story,
yes,
which has become the center of our ridicule.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of crazy technological evidence. at one point now, the candidate had said, let us have me now make the presentation. Then maybe we stayed until almost 3 in the morning. Then there was a thought that if George makes a presentation, we will also require the other side to bring in an expert witness to present. So you convolute the problem. So you are like, you brief the lawyers between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Yes.
Train them, make them understand. By the time they are appearing in court, they will understand to present it.
Exactly.
What they presented was a drop of exactly everything that was there.
Yeah.
But since they could not articulate that, it became a problem. So to explain to you why I went to law school is out of the thought that there is an opportunity within this space.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in IT would really benefit when they went to law school, if they were to go to law school. Because, I mean, they will transform their mind. They'll open up their minds to seeing the crazy opportunities available within the legal practice that are relating to IT. That will also make you appreciate the simple nuances that we don't tend to appreciate.
Exactly.
Yes.
Especially from a professional point of view to how we, the layman, will understand this thing, including something as simple as this server issue.
Yes.
And I know you're laughing because if there's one thing Kenyans still don't get,
is where the servers.
It became to a point where now server just became sexual.
Yes.
You just go home, unaambia bibi fungua server, because now atuelewi server inamaanisha nini.
I mean, trying to explain.
Please.
Even Moite trying to explain to the Supreme Court the other time. These are cloud server, ati watu wamelala.
Yeah.
It couldn't be understood. What we want to be able to do is, around the world, by the way, do you know legal lawyers don't do law degree as a first degree? Most jurisdictions, the first degree is any other degree, and law is normally a secondary degree. So that you have subject matter experts.
Yes.
So if you went to plumbing school, you do a degree in law.
Yes.
That you're able to be the best plumber lawyer.
Exactly.
To mitigate issues of plumbing in this country.
In this country, yeah.
But all our lawyers are experts to everything. Unampata jana na deal na divorce.
Yeah.
Kesho na deal na matrimonial
issues. Deal na watu wa manyumba. Real estate. And on the side, anauza magari.
Yes.
So, pia na deal na auto industry. So, I mean, it's...
So, we don't have subject matter expert. And that has really denied us expertise in developing policies, in developing things that would advance law.
Yes.
I mean, you saw the lawyers the other day saying we passed the law without having read the whole thing, the finance bill.
Yes.
Because people don't appreciate knowledge and also don't appreciate seeking out to become subject matter expert, because it really redefines your place in society and redefines you as an expert who can legally articulate yourself as a lawyer and also can articulate yourself as a subject matter expert, like an engineer.
Yeah.
So you're an engineer lawyer who can now mitigate and arbitrate engineering issues perfectly.
Period.
Yes.
So, but also in the same breath, I don't want to be simplistic, but why is it, I find it so difficult that of my understanding of maybe the way I think as a creative, how comes we can't vote with our phones? I don't get it. I mean, let's say this is me thinking as a madman.
Yes.
So we are 19 million voters. 2 million die within the next 5 years. Every 5 years. So we're 17 million voters. With our phones, literally, because people don't want to queue, don't want to do what or whatever, and maybe with a facial recognition or whatever, only 14 of us vote. So out of the 14 million of us vote. Why do we have to go and queue?
Well, there are two problems. People don't trust systems. And, I mean, it took us years to get to trust systems.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see, for instance, how much people are fighting
to even trust M-Pesa on the phone. Yeah.
For many years, people could not hold money on the M-Pesa. Wana receive, wanaenda wanatoa, wanakaa nayo cash.
Anakimbia, anasema hii itapotea. And if the only reason why it works is because unatuma pesa ushago. Apart from that, huwezi eka pesa kwa M-Pesa.
So, essentially, over time, people have gotten to trust. The elections process in this country have been born and beaten over the years by distrust. The first seed we saw to every other new voter is this process ikona ukora.
Yes.
So when you turn 18, unataka kuambia the newest voter, tumeibiwa kura. Na the ones tunaambia tumeibiwa kura ni vijana.
Exactly.
So they start off to go to the streets,
Yes.
they riot, since they are made to believe the process cannot be trusted.
Yes. And we also want reparations for what their parents went through.
Yes.
And they're not
so
getting.
Essentially, the reason why we cannot embrace technology is because of distrust. It's not that it cannot work. It can work perfectly. We don't trust the systems. Number two is that we also like eating. And we must call a spade, is that tunapenda ukora Kenya.
Yeah,
so
we're just...
The 30 billion shillings that is used to print ballots. Procure and I mean who...
Somebody must eat.
Somebody must eat.
Yeah.
So if you don't interested, and remember, when you have a technology, the only thing that will happen is just update here and there, and then we are good to go.
Exactly.
But the olden system of doing elections has somewhat over the years been trusted and has gained the trust, for instance, of receiving an actual ballot, marking it and all that. But embracing technology should be a way of life. You're seeing, for instance, the new SHIF, what is it called? Social Health Insurance Fund. It's largely designed to evolve our health data from it being singularly held by individual hospitals to a singular location.
And paper-based and file-based and center-based and go to that ward. You can't go anywhere else.
So we want to be able to track you and say, Anto amekuwa hii hosi, and we've seen his medical record.
When
he goes to hospital B, the doctor within one click can be able to see what your problem is. What medicine you are given at the hospital previously, and what medicine you've been having, and whether he can change, add or remove whatever that is, so that we're able to fix this problem. So maybe in the next 20 years, we'll do elections online.
Apart from data, have you been involved in any IT-related stuff that probably has revolutionized how Kenyans and Kenyan governments operate, or are we still stuck in George alifanyia Uhuru kazi the last, so we can't give him business, so this is not our guy?
No, we have done work. I mean, the current government, when the government was hacked the other day, when eCitizen was hacked, we fixed the problem. I think sometimes last year a lot of government parastatals were hacked.
There's a time here it was even trending.
So we are the ones who fixed it for them. I mean, give it to Ruto. I mean, he hasn't looked at me as I supported the previous government. If you give East Africa data handlers work, you'll be killed. I mean, we've been a specialty house in what we do. And even at the time, I was quite shocked when eCitizen came calling and they're like, guys, we've been hacked. You're the only guys who can help. Come and help. And we helped.
Speaking of being hacked, and from a miniature level, from just your phone, for example, we had a conversation with you, and one of the things you mentioned is we love putting our numbers out there. For example, somebody, maybe someone will, you'll say, guys, today I'm in Westy. Whoever wants kuja niwanunulie lunch at least. I bond with some of my followers. And people post there 072 mimi siko lakini nirushie kitu. And every time I see it, I mean, there's a level, leave alone the level of just desperation, but just the idea of you're giving your number to online to this MP who, like, let's say Sonko. When you see the people who post under Sonko giving him the number Tiloni Jenge, and I'm like, how do you survive when you leave numbers like this?
There is one thing that a lot of us have not realized. Is that our digital footprint is a nightmare that will bite us for years. Let me give you an example. I told you I come from King Ero. My mother had a house here, which was called the main house. In Kikuyu, it's called Nyobanene.
Nyobanene.
Then you have the kitchen out there, which is largely for cooking. And the main house doesn't have a kitchen normally. I think he never had a kitchen. I can't tell why. I don't know why. Even my shosho, even in Kawangware, you'd always, as you're walking out to go to school, there's a kitchen where everybody, you pass there, you have your second cup of tea, everyone passes by there. So we used to call it Kiada because it was down there. Now what happens is that the kitchen out there is largely never cemented.
That's true.
It is always made of munamwaga.
Actually, that is so weird. That is so true. I've never thought about it till you mentioned it now.
It's never cemented, but when you get to the main house, most of it is cemented. So you find this kind of surface that is red oxide. Now, if you were there and you had no shoes and it rained, you jump from the kitchen
Yes.
into the main house
Yes.
with your feet.
Yes.
And then your mother says, no, I get okuna atane hula magoro.
Yes.
You say not me.
Exactly.
Not me. She just calls everybody,
Come.
all of us.
Line up.
Put your foot here. And then she puts, and then the one
That fits.
get a
We'll get a fitting, a good one.
That is what we call digital footprint.
Yes.
Everywhere you go, leaving your number recklessly, and without due regard of what it does, it catastrophizes you individually. I share everything about myself personally. There is no single photo of my children online. There's no single photo of me and my wife online. I am not friends with my wife on social media.
Yes.
She's not. She doesn't share anything.
Active. Yeah.
And that's the way we are, because I do not want my children targeted by people who want to troll you online.
Yeah.
I don't want you to target my family. You can target me individually, but there's enough material of me out there.
Exactly.
But my children, my number, my way of association is singularly about me. I will not tell you, oh, me and my wife have broke up. No, that I will not do. But I'll be able to talk about the things I know.
Yes.
I tell myself that the only way I use social media is to talk about my mind. I tweet what I like, and most guys keep asking me who tweets. I tweet.
Yeah.
I write them, and guys are like, you don't write these things. I don't have somebody who manages my account. It is me who writes.
Yes.
But I take liability and responsibility of everything that I write.
Exactly.
Those are my thoughts. Some of them are very wild. Some of them are very...
And you have the freedom of expression to express yourself.
And that in itself means that it is the only way that I'm able to express myself. So the use of social media needs to be used with the discretion that I want it to be. So don't give your number thinking that it will remain as such. Next week when you con somebody,
yes,
they only need to search for your name and your number.
Yeah.
And they will see it and they will start looking for you.
Exactly.
And it's doesn't add value.
People are very haphazard when it comes to that. Also, if you mentioned the pictures and something else, we can also delve into here is AI.
Yes.
And I know, I'm 100% sure that you are in the background. I'm sure you are chasing knowledge, doing everything that you can to understand AI and also to help us understand what AI is about. These living photos of your children, I watched a very nice sort of like advert of sorts of these parents who always share photos of their kids.
Yes.
And they go to watch a movie and the child's photo pops up. But now it's aged all the way to like 15 or 20.
Yes.
And they're saying the things you've made me go through, I've become a meme. With even a voice. And they're saying, by the way, I can now call you and send a voice and say, Mom, send me money. There's something happened right now. Please send me money. And it's not your child.
No.
What should we anticipate and how should we carry ourselves as far as AI is concerned? And should we be worried about how fast or how big AI is going to be?
Let me tell you something. The next elections that are going to be running in 2027.
Yes.
One of the things that is going to work with great precision is something called deepfakes. Deepfake is the ability of me taking your voice and running it through an AI system, and I'll be able to recreate a deepfake version of yourself, and it will be 99.9% accurate in terms of what it does and what it represents. Exactly the same thing is what is happening with all the digital information that we're leaving behind. When you look at AI, it only requires the final version of faking itself from you. The biggest fight I've seen, for instance, an example is the issue of WorldCoin.
Yes.
WorldCoin is a brilliant company. Now, what is missing about you on social media is I know everything about you.
Yes.
I know where you've been. We know where you are.
Yeah.
The one thing that is missing is a unique identifier of you.
Wow.
The most unique identifier of a person is their iris.
Yeah.
So if you go to the WorldCoin and you give them your iris, what they will do now
for 3,000,
which
they never received. They know themselves. Some of them are here. This young one.
Now let me tell you something. What is interesting is that
nakapanga line nakupata pesa. He's even lucky he didn't do the iris thing. He's very lucky. This Jeff here. And we argued. I told him, Jeff, you are a Christian kwanza. What if this is selling your soul to the devil? Apana. Apana. And by the way, before then, there were so many kids who'd gotten that 3K. But I mean, it's with every pyramid scheme or every con.
Yes.
They give a few the lucky ones, then the rest come flocking.
Oh, yes.
The day he was meant to do it, there was a huge queue. He just gave up.
Let me tell you what happens. These guys only need to give your iris to the government itself. And the only thing that the government will need is capture your phone. Remember, you're using your eyes to unlock your phone.
Yes.
So if the government have your eyes, do they need you to unlock your phone?
Oh, please, they don't need you. But imagine if a thief, if a swindler, if a murderer
now gets access to that data, what they'll easily be able to do is update and pretend to be you. You get it? So meaning your digital footprint has been completely compromised.
Wow.
And without that simple realization, we sell our souls to the devil.
Wow.
For the cheapest of things.
Yeah.
And by the time you realize what these guys have on you is unbelievable. I mean, the amount of data that Facebook and Googles of this world collect about us is unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
They know where you live. They know where you've been.
What you like.
They know they can easily target you to the micro mechanism of you.
Yeah.
One of the things that you need to understand is that 90% of the decisions that we are making on social media are influenced by social media utilities themselves. And hence why TikTok has become extremely famous.
Yes.
What TikTok have done, they have an AI engine that is so individualized to you. So there's an AI dedicated to every TikTok account.
Where?
So with that, what it does is that it serves you exactly what you like. So if you like seeing pornographic content,
that's what you're gonna get.
You will never think there's another world.
Yeah.
So what TikTok does, it creates a silo mechanism for you.
And people normally say, these things all over my feed. I'm like, that's what you normally watch when we are not there.
Yes.
You're just surprised that it's popping up now during the day.
That's exactly what we're saying. Is that they monopolize and they put you in a silo in such a way that you'll only see that very individualistic content.
Yeah.
So when they want to serve a particular message to you, they will direct that particular message to you. And that is where AI is going to take us. Individual decisions that are not influenced by technology will become quite minimal in our lives. And we'll end up living what is the most boring life. Because when you're thinking of a hotel, you go on Google, you search for hotel. If they want to push the one we are on right now, they'll only push this one.
Yeah.
And you keep looking and you'll only see, every time you see 3, you see this one.
You see this one, yeah.
And that's the way it is done.
Yeah.
Is that AI is a thing that will change this world forever.
And it's very targeted, like you said.
Oh, yes.
It's about, you know, there's always this thing people say, nimefikiria tu juu ya rice cooker. Na nimeona rice cooker.
Yes.
And it took me a long time to actually realize that no, guys, you
targeted.
Guys always give permission to for the microphone. Also, randomly, you didn't even realize you probably checked out some video on Instagram for rice cooker, but now you're surprised that you can see the ad on Facebook. And I'm like, it's the same company, same people. And when you go to Google, the ad is there. So you're the one who's feeding them the things that you would like.
One of the things I have done, and I always do on my phone, is that I spend a lot of time tinkering with the functional allowance for virtually everything I have installed.
Same here. I do that a lot.
So I keep tinkering with them. So today I'll see this app and I'll think one of the things that no app knows where I am.
Yeah.
No location of mine is activated on all my apps. So it means that at all times I'm able to see what the apps are collecting from me.
Yes.
If they collect more data than I have allowed them, I keep that. I ensure that my iPhone is up to date in terms of the latest iOS and all, to ensure that I am securitizing myself.
Yeah.
I have not used an Android phone. Primarily.
Say it loud. I have not used an Android phone. Primarily, why?
My security concerns have always been
the people at the back there
yes.
cannot hear. You've not used an Android phone. Do you know, I'm always making fun of these guys. Like this dude made money. Instead of going buy an iPhone, he goes and buys what is that? One what?
It's a Google OnePlus. It's okay.
For what? No, he said it's okay. I mean, it's great. And I even told him, with all the options and the amount of money, you just bought an iPhone. They don't understand.
The complexity of Android,
Yeah.
it's two things. I mean, until Kenya government came into play, that is Central Bank of Kenya.
Yes.
The guys you would borrow money from, the Talas of this world, and
Yes,
all,
the branch and
they would steal your data
yeah.
and start calling your friends.
Yes.
I mean, those apps were never installed
And
on
even
iPhones.
and you signed up and said it's okay.
It's okay.
You
They
didn't
would-
know they were
they
getting
would read your
because they
text
give
messages.
you they'll ask for access to contacts.
Yes,
And then you say yes.
and SMSs.
Then I start getting calls of Ati. Is this they even call me by name? Is Anthony Mwangi? Yes. Rafiki yako Jeff. I'm like, me and I didn't even know Jeff has a
Tala
those
Lord.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then now I'm being threatened. Ebu ongea na Jeff. How am I involved? So now instead of even telling Jeff uko na loan, namwambia Jeff.
Yeah.
Walipataji namba yangu. That's what
Yes.
is now bothering me the most.
That is the crisis that we have with those devices. So the permissions permitted on your device are
Yes.
crazy. I mean, many of us don't realize it.
Yeah.
They will have applications that will spy on you.
Yeah.
Everything that is built on Android will easily be able to be compromised.
Yeah.
I mean, the backdoor availabilities on many things are backdoor loops are unending.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they are not functional. They are very good Android devices
Yeah. Yeah.
that have been and technologies have been built on Android.
Yeah.
But it means that somebody has to be quite conscious on what to get.
Yeah. Maybe the Pixel. That's all. That's the closest me I'll get.
The camera, yes.
Yeah. But with this information, I have seen you talk about it on social media. People, I mean, it's become like a thing where you can even Google and get these answers. Why don't? And also for me, let me leave the common wananchi, because huyo anaweza kuwa na mashida yake ana interest na kupitia simu yake. Why is that private institutions, governments do not get it? Yes, they do keep in business because we have hackers. I mean, we have a lot of phishing happening where people want to blackmail organizations.
Yes.
But why don't we get? What is our? We just tick everything, accept all cookies, allow, including governments
Yes.
that decide to have third parties to host their
servers
their
and systems.
servers, and you're like, how are you? Who okayed this? That your server is being run in Uzbekistan, for crying out loud, where if a 17-year-old can hack into a government website.
There's a big problem in our country. We are lagging behind in terms of policies on data.
Yes.
I had a minister the other day give me his card and he sent me his Gmail email. And I'm thinking to my God. this
Minister,
is
Gmail, government.
I mean, so that means that Google will have influence on what you're doing.
Yeah.
If cabinet, I saw the other day the cabinet launched tablets.
Yes.
They are all Android tablets.
Yeah.
And I'm asking myself,
Who can't hack? Anybody can hack this.
I mean, Google and the rest will require for these applications to work.
Yeah.
They must have access to Gmail.
Mm.
So it means as the cabinet is making decisions, they will suddenly be having that data
In a
also
cloud owned by a third party.
Now, that creates crazy risks.
Yeah.
Crazy risks of sovereignty as a country. And remember, data is a new oil. The one who controls the data controls the mind, controls the wealth, controls everything. So if our ability to understand some of these things is not propped up, we will at all times be the losers.
Yeah.
Will at all times be the guys who will not have the knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, how does a whole governor of a county decide that the governor is Kamau Njoroge at gmail.com?
Imagine.
For what reason?
How?
Because we don't realize the power we give to these other third parties entities.
Yeah.
And it disadvantages us in our decision making process. It disadvantages us to do virtually anything that we want to do, because we don't make decisions of our own volition.
Yeah.
We are influenced by these multinationals that are viewing our data and are seeing that entire data on their back end. Countries like Rwanda have a brilliant sovereignty of data. Data sovereignty means the Kenyan data sits here. Number two, countries like Russia have heavily influenced that. And if I were the Minister of Internal Security today,
Yeah.
I would demand every server, every website of a Kenyan company has to be locally hosted. So that I'm easily able to nyonga the servers from one side.
Yeah.
Because remember, everything is sitting on...
Exactly.
on
If it's
on
an
a single
attack, you
track.
know how to deal with it.
Yes. So that's what countries are doing. They're trying to bring back data home, They're forcing companies to bring websites home.
Yeah.
They're forcing companies to have data centers built locally
Yeah.
to ensure that data is sitting locally.
But when you say these things, they're probably thinking, if he says it's a good idea, but if he has to implement it, I probably won't make my cut.
Yes, that's a problem. So when we, for instance, have our data on Amazon is brilliant, it's good. But why can't we tell Amazon, let all Kenyan data
Exactly.
sit and be built?
But why can data be handled by EADH?
Yes.
Why can't it be our own?
You know, that is what I'm always said and wondered, is that we don't find the power of data as anything. And I'll tell you something. We keep protesting. The other day, guys went to court and said, we do not want the government to know that about this Huduma number.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked myself a question. You're using WhatsApp. WhatsApp, in the WhatsApp chats, WhatsApp itself is as an individual knows your girlfriend.
Yes.
It knows your wife.
Yes.
It knows your husband.
I love that what you said. Knows your wife and your girlfriend.
Yes. So it means in the background,
Yeah.
you have given them that right.
Yes.
Facebook knows where you are.
Because if save their wife, girlfriend, son, dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So why are we afraid to give? If we've given it to, Zuckerberg, and we don't know
Exactly.
him,
Yeah.
we can at least give it to Ruto. We know him.
But is it an African mentality of our own? We just have this darau towards our own.
No. We don't
Like if I say today and I say, guys, why can't our data be handled at EADH, at East African Data Handlers? I know the virtual will just begin with a tribe.
Yes.
Who say, did you even until you look like him? You're probably related. I'm a Kutuma, and I'm like, no, I'm just saying based off of the information that I got. And from there onwards, I'll realize everything I'm talking about, no one is caring. They care more about who is saying it,
Yes.
where are they from, who are they related to, and then that matters.
I am always told that any policy in government that is made, it doesn't matter how much benefit we are having in the country, as long as people are not in the cut, it's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
It's a brilliant, stupid idea.
As we conclude, I know you're very vocal when it comes to relationships and how men and women interact in terms, especially this. We've spoken about these fake relationships of dying there. You're just dying and you're trying to spoil people and you're suffering in loans. What do you think in this day and age? What do you think would make a relationship successful? Because there's a lot of people who say, marriage is a scam. Everybody I've seen is just marriage is not these things. What should we do to navigate these relationship waters so we can just survive with each other? A lot of lying and cheating and faking until you make it.
Everybody wonders why I don't write about technology on my social media.
By the way, your ex. By the way, I find it very interesting.
Why I don't do that?
I find it very interesting.
And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
It's because I have a PhD in IT.
I should actually be calling you Dr. George Njoroge.
No, it doesn't matter.
But you don't place it. You don't even put George, doctor.
No. Listen, I learned something. Every time I've had that Twitter account or X account for many years.
Yes.
Every time I'd write about technology, nobody was bothered. Nobody was interested. And I realized everybody's worried about relationships. Because it is what makes us survive.
Yes.
I make money to have my family happy.
Yes.
So that is what makes me happy. And I wake up in the morning and I happily write about it.
Yeah.
If you want to know about technology, come to my office, I'll teach you.
Yeah.
Or go to our website.
Because they'll it's like having a double math.
Yes.
Double math, chemistry, physics the whole day.
It's
Si anajua sasa tutashinda hapa tukiongelea hii data yake.
You'll not get a double math in my Twitter.
But also something you said that was very controversial. But very real. Why is it that we don't have translations of the Bible in our tribes? And where they do, they're probably struggling in translation. Why is it? Why?
Because we are being fed with knowledge that they feel we need. If they feel you need more church, they will send you blood
back to the thing of like he who owns that knowledge, he who owns that right to give you knowledge,
is the one who controls the power of what you will know. Why will they not translate, for instance, calculus in Kikuyu?
Yeah.
I'd want to know Pythagoras theorem.
Exactly, to build a heart.
Yes. That is a
So imagine
the simple logic of language being used to make us understand complexities. would really make us brilliant. I went to school in China, in a place called Chengdu.
Do you speak Mandarin?
No.
Okay.
But the interesting part is that in Chengdu, they will have 2 classes. You want to learn in English?
Yes.
It's good. You want to learn in Mandarin? Do your class.
Yeah.
But what happens is, those brilliant engineers, some of the best engineers on earth, are from Chinese.
The ones who speak in Mandarin.
Taught in Mandarin.
Yeah.
So you'd imagine if we taught our engineers in Kikuyu.
Yeah.
If we taught plumbing in Kikuyu, how many plumbers we would be
But
producing?
instead what they would do is that if you even had to say Ohoro or Nango or Chamge in school, even just by mistake, they actually place askaris.
No, we used to carry a mount.
Yeah, but they place askaris within us.
Yes.
That mimi ni kuseti, ni kimbie, niseme ameongea.
Yes.
So they place a monto on you. It's very, very, very sad.
It was stupid. So what makes the relationships work is honesty. Is there is a lot of fakeness.
Explain honesty. Like Leo,
Sio ile ya
mdenge kukatia hapa. Some young girl comes and tells, unaambia, by the babe, some girl was not leaving me at NSK. She just thinks I'm some single guy. She's disturbing me. I had to tell her, I'm taken. Like that openness,
No, openness in terms of being able to become real with the other party. I got married young. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I have a 19-year-old.
Wow.
She just did her Cambridge, A-levels or something. She joined the university. But what I have learned over the years in terms of relationship is that you will only see value when somebody is able to say, by the way, today I don't have money. Today let's not eat that high life.
Yeah.
Because, I always feel bad for my sons. Because, the women of today are deceptive. They'll try and show you the good side of them.
Yeah.
But nobody is trying to be honest. Nobody's trying to say, I can afford this.
Be real.
Be real.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to show their car. It's a loan. But does it help you?
And where they're not, you should be the one doing it. So they're giving you the pressure as a man to do it.
And you're constantly being pressured to live that life. Me, if you ask me out today and you say, let's meet at Kempinski, I go to Kempinski, I have lunch or anything, but that's the first thing I'll think in my mind. What are you trying to show me?
Also, what are the other options? Why here?
Why
there are things we can do.
So it's not that about the brand, but it's about the perception we sell each other. Is that relationships are struggling. Number 2 is that our way of relating is very social media driven. Is that I want to hear what other people are doing and how they're executing it, and I want my relationship to work that same
way. Yeah.
You want to compare me with your previous boyfriend or girlfriend? It really doesn't work. I'm a different person. I'm a completely whole human being.
Yes.
That thinks differently. I have twins myself, and they're completely different people.
Yep.
Yet they're extremely they're what is it called? Identical.
Yeah.
They
Fraternal.
Wanafanana kama shilingi.
Exactly.
But you will not know. You will only know that these are individuals based on their wanting. One is very social, the other one is very easy. One is very meticulous, the other one is just
easy life. Yeah.
And that is what I've learned to appreciate. So have that as a way of life in succeeding relationship. And finally is being able to avoid things that cause conflict. Kupana, kupeana.
Okay. I got it. Yes. I got it. Kunyimana. Yeah.
Hizo vitu zinaharibu maneno.
Yeah.
Hakuna I saw a boy, I feel that young boy, it's called Prince who?
Yeah, the one who was posting stuff. Hey, that story. We have to talk about that story. This guy who posted a photo of him and he's the love of his life.
He was 1 hour away
from marriage. And then he realized the person who posted her didn't even take an old photo
of the same one.
Of the same one when they were together.
And then you cropped.
They were going for a wedding with the person he thinks is the wife, is about to become the wife.
Let me tell you.
That thing, by the way, bothered you. You posted about it and said, whoever is next to that man, can you please take his phone? Because this boy now, he's making me angry. Amechezwa, imeisha.
Kubali aishe.
he's now sounding silly on social media, just crying and groveling.
I've seen after that he's posted videos. He's trying to.
Anyway, no. Let's start from your perspective. Yeah. So you're online, then what happens? You're out there chilling, just making Ruto's government, putting them in check. Then you see the story.
Yes, and I got pissed off by that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's being stupid.
Yeah.
He should have seen all these signs through and through.
Yeah.
Men need to learn authority. Authority is God-given. And it is given to God to a man.
Yes.
Not to a woman. And me, I'm of the school, man is the one who was given authority. And I exercise authority.
Yes.
With the fear and trembling of God, but I exercise it.
Yes.
Fully, and with the, if I know this is the thing it's supposed to be.
Yes.
You and your bloody religion can go there.
Yes.
Mine is this way.
This is the way we are.
It's
happening like this.
When that man realized that woman cheated.
Yes.
That's the very day he should have left.
Immediately.
A woman who's conniving and cheating should not be given a chance in society. Should not, cannot, will not.
And she'll do it again.
Yes.
There is no relationship there. It's a wrap.
Yeah. And because she finds that, women are subjective to how their men are treating them. If you're a sloppy man who's trying to be
kind, nice.
Nice. You run out of the town.
They will treat you. Character development.
Yes.
By
the time you know it, you've been fucked and
she's literally getting married to someone else.
Yes.
And he's planning a wedding.
Women, as they move on, remember...
that thing, I'm still confused about how that happened.
If you see a young chick, as young as 12, she's thinking about marriage. If she sees you're not marriage material, she'll keep you pending the real guy.
Yeah.
And when she sees the man, she'll leave you. She'll keep you there.
Even when they play Kalongo, and I'm going to be mom, I want this.
Oh, yes.
And it's true.
Oh.
When we do Kalongo, they pick.
They pick being mom.
You know what used to happen? They'll even pick, let's say, for example, they say, wewe ni mtoto wangu.
Because
they know who is the dad. And this is a 12, 9-year-old girl.
The guy is looking like he's masculine.
Like he's masculine.
Who like, dad. And they're all age mates.
Or even thinking about their family and saying, tunaishi na nyinyi ploti moja, unakuwa daddy aje, we una kitu.
Let me tell you, the future of men is waking up. Men piss me off when we are reckless and when we are letting ourselves down. Yeah. But there's a problem. Is that a lot of men are drunkards. Yeah. And drunkenness is a big problem.
But this drinking thing, and let me ask you. It's good that we are two Kikuyus here. They say, I can insult my mother, you cannot.
Yes.
What the fuck is our problem with alcohol? Is it a curse? I have genuinely tried to think of, George, I have genuinely tried to think about this story, and my last process was a curse. I said, it's not making sense to me anymore. How people from one tribe and from one place and from one region are fucking drunkards, all of them.
Because the problem is not we are drunkards. Everywhere people drink, everywhere in the world. We don't have a capacity to handle alcohol first. Number two is that we are very monolithic in the way we view things. Now imagine you're born in Kingero.
Yeah.
And you live there all your life. Yeah. Your auntie was born there.
Yes.
Your mother was born there.
Yes.
Your grandmother was born there.
Yes.
Married there.
Buried there.
And it means that you don't see an end past Kingero. What happens is that you socialize with the same environment. It influences you and afflicts you. And you end up being socialized the way they do things. Seek out new knowledge. Seek out a new way of life. Me, I like the idea of a guy being born in Moranga, going to live in Bungoma.
Yes.
Because you'll see things differently. But our people in Kabete, Kiambu, and the larger part of Nyeri and Moranga are all drunkards because they've been born and raised there.
And they're not living their parents' place, which means that they're not paying rent.
Yes.
And you always see, there's even this thing, because, my parents have property in Kawangware, and you always hear some of the comments they say that watoto wa landlord, wahawa wakiu landlord, wote ni walevi. Because these other people who are tenants, who are busy hustling and suffering, wake up and they live. If you see them in Kawangware in the morning, you think there's a coup. Like, they're walking all the way to town or Kibera or Lavington or whatever. But our people, see them, they know, they live and go and hustle tenants for their parents' rent.
If our Rigiji today, I would tell all the parents in Central Province to stop building a cube.
Chase these children.
No.
Yeah.
Stop building a cube.
Yeah.
Let me give you a story of
Yes.
why drunkenness is entrenched in Central Province.
Yes.
So when we got circumcised, we all get circumcised. Coincidentally, all of us in Central get circumcised at 14, 15.
Yes. So
All of
class
us.
8, class 7.
Class 7, 8.
Yeah.
Now, when you get circumcised, you're given your own house.
Mm.
It's called a cube. So that's where you go to stay.
Yes.
So essentially, 90% of the people who are given a cube end up living their entire life
In that cube.
Now, that cube becomes the newest source of problems.
Yes.
Because a man feels he has a new abode, he has a house.
And now it's a brothel.
It's a brothel. He has a license to bring women.
It's a brewery, a brothel.
He has a license to brew alcohol.
Yes.
There. He can come anytime. Remember, he doesn't need to go to his mother's house.
Yes.
Let me tell you what happened.
Oh, and if he eats from that house we were talking about.
Yes.
That kanyumba.
Ile kitchen ya
Iko
nje,
nje.
anatoka na
Also it has very little shame. Because you know you're entering your mom's house.
Yes.
So you find your mom has got this house help that has lived there for many years, or shamba boy for many years. Akipika ugali, uko hapo.
Yes. So what happens is that these men end up becoming a problem. They are living there. My solution is let everybody live in your mother's home.
Yeah.
You get circumcised even at an early age.
Yes.
When you reach Form 4, get out.
Just leave. You do what you have to do with your life. We're not with you anymore.
Get out.
Yeah.
That way then, you will have this man go out there and hustle. And ishi kwa ploti huko, a hustle. Atakuwa mtu. My mother never built me a cube.
Yeah.
When I finished Form 4, where I went to university, after university, go find work.
Yeah, my mom told me I can't have two men in the house.
Umoja
Na huyu alinioa.
Yes.
So mmoja lazima aende. It has to be you. And she told me nenda kwa chama. Since hauna pesa, I will get you that wewe mtu wa TV na kuka ujipi. Sasa what you have to do now is look for a house.
Yes.
See, I started dilly-dallying. My mom called my friend who I schooled with in high school, who was living in Buruburu, and said, "Oh, huyu ananisumbua." The two of them, let's go look for a house. Got the house. She was in the truck, left the things in the house, and told me, "Cheers, start your life now." And I think me and my mom are very close, and my dad, because I realized if my dad and I will continue like that, would never be friends.
Oh yes.
Because now you think you're a man. He's the only man in that house. You now go find yourself and be a man outside there.
Those are the men that we want to raise.
Yeah.
If alcoholism has to end, our boys have to leave home.
Yeah.
And circumcision needs to stop being embraced. I mean, since we've been here, who has seen others' dick?
Imagine.
It wasn't necessary for you to call me here. You
Yeah.
didn't need to see my dick.
Are you circumcised so that I know if you have anything in your head?
Let me tell you, that idea is a demonic idea. And it is embraced by people who have no ability to articulate beyond being circumcised.
Thank you.
I don't care whether you're circumcised or not. That
Why should I
entitlement
care, honestly?
has become the way that has killed the Kikuyu people.
Yes.
Because they are circumcised, they have all the entitlement to drink and have all the madness they need.
There's even a saying that Kikuyu mothers say when you start becoming like Chwangumu, "Vegane moru," which means, oh, now umeshiba sasa unaanza.
Now you're circumcised. You're
Unaongeaga
a
vile
man.
unataka huko. To also show you, and it's also a way of really ridiculing you and telling you, and you're still here with me. Who do you think you are?
Out there.
Go out there and I see who you are. Thank you so much, Dr. Njoroge.
Don't.
Now you know I'll never stop calling you Dr. Njoroge for coming through. I feel like you and you need to be coming more often. Well, so something crazy happens, I say, hey, Manze lazima ukuje, please.
I like this, and I like the way you do it. It's easy, it's chilled, and I love excellence. I love your excellence. I mean, me, I'm an admirer of excellence. Because what is fine in life, God loves.
Yes.
I mean, when Jesus talks about wine, wine is the finesse.
Yes.
So, kunywa mashisha.
Exactly. And you know, before you came here, I had spoken to Mwirigi, and I was telling Mwirigi that not the success is taking long for you to get there. It is being marinated to, and I told him the best things is, I've been to Cape Town. One of the things you enjoy about wine is the process.
Oh, yes.
You guys enjoy the 4 cousins here. Please
3 neighbors.
Go and enjoy the nether bags. Then you're like, I understand the process and what it means to make this wine. So it's okay. Let the process will get you there, but the finesse after is everything.
I am a wine collector.
So realize umekula life.
Life is...
You're a wine collector.
That's
which is your oldest or most expensive wine in your house?
I have $1 million shillings worth of a wine bottle.
A bottle?
One bottle.
Yeah. So we love to hear things like this because people need to hear so they can challenge themselves.
1999 red. It's one of some farm I'd found in France. I'd gone to some farm in Nice.
Yeah.
And I bought this bottle, and I love it. I don't think I promised myself I'll kunywa it the day my daughter gets married.
Yeah.
So it is a few years away from being drunk.
And you tell that man, let me tell you, nimekunywa juu ya huyu msichana. Nikisikia umemsumbua mtoto wangu, utanirudishia pesa ya hii pombe.
So it's let's enjoy life.
Yeah.
And let's keep having this.
Yeah, now we'll be friends. We'll have to have more of this.
Oh, yes.
Oh, every time there's like something big, I'll be like, George, we have to meet. You know where we'll meet next now.
Yes.
So we have to meet there. So we go there, we talk, we banter, we laugh. I think that's how also we grow. There's a man called Charles Morito. I don't know if you're friends with him. He works at Google. You people should be friends because your love for wine. He's a collector of wine. And even maybe Peter Nduati.
Yes.
Loves collecting wine.
I met Nduati when he was at
the Resolution.
Yeah,
yes. So you people should be friends because mumefanya nimetoa ukawangware ndani yangu. Sina ungwaro.
The next time I think we'll talk about wines.
Yeah, we need to do it.
Because the madness and stupidity of people drinking for cousins.
Yes.
I think when people know what
Listen, I'm sorry to you guys, but that is cheap wine. Very cheap alcohol.
When people know what is behind good quality stuff.
Yes.
I think it would make a difference in how we get things done.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you
for
so much, Dr. Njoroge, for coming. Thank you for your kindness, for your patience, for your excellence, and for just being unapologetically you. I think that's what has stood out for me the whole time. And for teaching us to take care of ourselves and take care of these things are very important. Please, guys, go get your iPhone.
Thank you for having me.
This is why it's difficult for us to send videos to you guys and photos. Because we just feel some type of way if we can't airdrop. It just feels so, I don't know. It just,
WhatsApp, WhatsApp.
It just feels, tupige picha because uta airdrop. Mudosi picha baadaye asiulize anto una picha yangu. Tukiwa tunaongea na wewe. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go follow and check out, especially X, George Njoroge. I promise you will not be bored. You will learn something new. And that's the thing about life. Thank you for unlocking your soul.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to have you again and again and again.
Asante.
And guys, after this, George is going to meet Mwirigi. And Mwirigi has to pitch to George as to why he should work with George for his establishment and for his businesses. And I know George will, and I know Mwirigi will not disappoint. That man, that young boy, he honestly, he's a tour de force.
Let's
so but let me not oversell him and then you come and tell me beshte yako amekataa kutumia watu wangu content. He's shafting my business. So let me not oversell him, but I know he won't let you down.
Thanks, bro. I hope and I pray the best for him.
Yeah, he'll do great. Akikuwa disappoint to just call me.
Thanks.
I know what to do. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Mume order pizza.
Ebu order pizza mkule.